Welcome to another episode of Coming Back from Fear, where we're looking at our superpowers. Skating across the lake of stress, we have thoughts of fear like, where is the ice thin? Are we going to fall through? Are those people going to puncture the ice and take us with them? Was that a crack in the ice? Stress and anxiety are really the result of our internal battle between our thoughts and reality. They are connected to all the other uncomfortable feelings. A lot of our emotions we've talked about so far have been surface emotions, more or less symptoms of our fear. When we dig down a bit, we find the fight and flight anxiety and stress under the surface. A widower lived by himself in Idaho. Planting season had arrived, and he attempted to go out in the heat and use a shovel to dig up the garden so he could plant potatoes. Well, because he lives in Idaho, that's what they do there, plant potatoes. It was too much for him, and he injured his back. His only son would have helped him, but he was in prison. So the old man did write to him each week, so he sent him a letter and said, "Dear son, I'm a little disappointed that I won't be able to plant the potato garden this year. I miss the garden because your mother always enjoyed planting time. I'm just getting too old to be digging up a garden plot. I know if you were here, you would take care of it and dig it up for me. Love, Dad." Well, later in the week, he received a response via telegram, and it said, "For heaven's sake, Dad, don't dig up the garden. That's where I buried the guns." Well, the next morning, the old man received a knock at his door. There was a dozen police officers on his property with a search warrant, and they dug up the entire garden. But to their disappointment, they weren't able to find any guns. Well, during his weekly communication with his son, the old man wrote about what had happened and asked him, "What should I do next?" And his son replied, "Go ahead and plant your potatoes, Dad. That's the best I could do for you from here." Sometimes all we have to do when we are stressed is talk about it. The answers can come from unexpected places. It is easy to understand why we're a bit stressed in our current society. It seems everywhere we turn, something we've been eating for years is suddenly discovered to be bad for us, and then something that was bad for us is actually healthy now. And then there's the sun. It's no longer dangerous just for vampires anymore. Every day we're threatened by the worry of what the sun is going to do to us now. That causes our bodies to shut down our immune system because we're in that fight or flight mode so much that the mechanism that fights off cancer in our system's not functioning. Is it a wonder why cancer is so prevalent in the United States? It doesn't take too much effort to hear someone stating that they are stressed. I wonder what a difference it might make in our lives if rather than saying, "I am stressed," that we replace it with a truer statement, "I am fearing." Let's see. On any given workday, if I wake up late, "Oh God, I'm going to be late for work. My kids will be late for school. And what will people think of me? Oh, I sure hope my car starts. What if there's traffic? I hope no one runs into me. Oh, God, did I forget my lunch? Oh, no, did I forget the kids' lunches? Okay, finally, I clocked in at work. I hope I do a good job today. I can't afford to lose this job. Oh, nice. Frida got promoted. Good for her. I should work harder and move higher in the company, too. I wonder if they'd hire me. Oh, thank God it's lunchtime. Oh, I need to call that company that's open only during regular business hours. And gosh, I've been on hold for 30 minutes. I'm going to have to hang up so I'm not late coming back from lunch. Lordy, all that, and that's just half the day. We can find ourselves rushing through our day, trying to accomplish everything on our little list of supposed to's, fearing what others will think of us if we don't accomplish all those things. But really, They are all busy working on their lists. And those that aren't working on lists don't care about what is or is not on your list. If anyone mentions anything about your list, it's only because they're trying to distract you from looking at their list. Little hint there. All this pressure. What can we do? Well, you can find the nearest phone booth to switch into your superhero costume. Yeah, I know. Those old-fashioned phone booths are hard to come by, aren't they? So maybe instead look for one of those photo booths with that little curtain. The power to laugh. A laugh a day keeps stress away. Or maybe a laugh an hour. Laughter is really like air for me. If I haven't laughed or smiled several times in a day, I can start to feel like I'm suffocating. And it is probably true. Because when we're in fight or flight mode, our breathing is restricted and constricted. So we really aren't getting the amount of air that we normally would when we're not in fear. We can purpose to bring laughter and smiles into our day a variety of ways. If we're involved in social media, which most of us are, there are a variety of individuals on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, that, they have daily posts with humorous postings and anecdotes and things like that. There's also, of course, websites dedicated to humor. And if we can't find something we like, then we have the power to create it. So take a deep breath in and let out a big old laugh. Keep that stress away. The power of thank you. You know that stress list is a mighty long list, and it doesn't bring us love or peace. Instead, let's make lists of things we're thankful for. Post them wherever we spend the most time, usually on our desks and computers at home and work. Also, you can put them any place that would catch our attention, like on our refrigerator door, on the main door of a home where everyone exits and comes in, bathroom mirrors, or in our cars. We can even make the background on our cell phone something that reminds us of things that we can be thankful for. It's important because gratitude is a stress killer. It's a fear killer. Filling up our hearts with thankfulness keeps fear away, like a campfire keeps the wild animals at bay. The power of now. When we have a giant mountain to climb, if we look at all the steps that we have to take to get us to the top, we can become overwhelmed and give up or lose the wind in our sails. We don't have enough energy in this moment to make it in all those other moments. And that's because we will have more energy given to us in those future moments. It's like if we're given lunch money every day. So I'm given lunch money for today, but if I think I have to stretch out that money for today out all week, that's going to be stressful. But if I know I'm going to have more funds given to me tomorrow, then I can relax and spend the money I have for today on today's things. So we can focus our energy for today on today, not tomorrow or any day after that, because today is all we have. The power of no. Sometimes we need to look at our big list of expectations and just scream, no! Crumple it all up, throw it away. And then once we calm down, we can take a look at what we really want our list of things to look like, that list of things we want to do. Number one, if it is something that will help us become someone else, scratch that off the list. You don't need to become someone else. You are perfect just as you are. Why are you trying to change yourself? What are you afraid of? Number two, If it is something that will help other people change, scratch that off the list too. Why are you trying to change someone else? Can you see how perfect they are right now in this moment? What do you fear will happen if that person stays who they are? And number 3, if it is something that will make your life better, scratch that off the list too. Your life is perfect right now as it is. If you got all this other stuff or situations you think you need, will your life really be any happier than it could be right now? Isn't it crazy how empty that list is when we see how perfect everything is in this moment? Kablam. The power to question. I know. By now, if you have been using your power to question in each episode, you might have grown weary of deep diving and digging. And it's okay to take a break from it all. We will always be drawn back into fear at some point. It's the ebb and flow of this life. Very few of us have chosen to become fully awake while we're here on this planet. Most of us will spend our time moving the percentage of fear in our lives from 99% to 1%, or at least towards 1%. It's like, I don't know if you're old enough, it's like having dial-up internet access and you're downloading a movie and it's like 98% left, 97% left, 97% left, still 97% left. Woohoo! 96% left. There really isn't any pressure to be at any specific percentage at any particular time. The only expectations that there are come from our fear ego. They aren't real. And it's funny that we can stress about having stress because we're thinking we shouldn't have any stress. But Zen, I'm trying to be spiritual, so shouldn't I be changing my life and becoming a better person? There's no trying. There's no should and shouldn't. There's no better. There is only remembering who we really are. There is only unconditioning our minds. We have always been perfect from the beginning. Things just got cloudy. So there is nothing to fear, not even fear itself. I leave you with this Facebook post called The Monkey We Birthed. A lot of what becomes the monkey on our back was birthed from within ourselves. I know, I didn't like to hear that either, at first. But that meant I could take a hard look at all the things I did not like or enjoy in my life and take responsibility for their creation. Or at the very least, take responsibility for allowing them to live on my back. I remember hearing someone say that we may not be able to control if a bird lands on our head, but we can accept accountability if we let it build a nest there. Likewise, there may be some things in our life that feel like they've been poured upon us. And in these situations, we might discover that our attitudes about life have drawn them to us. At the very least, our feelings and attitudes about any situation did arise from within ourselves, because emotions are nowhere else but inside us. At first, this realization kind of pissed me off. But when I calmed down, I discovered my life was not out of control. I didn't have much control of the external things, but the most powerful thing was that I had control of my choices in my life. One of the biggest decisions being my choice of attitude about everything in my life. I could live in lack, or I could live in abundance with the choice of gratitude. I could live in fear, or I could choose to love myself and others unconditionally, knowing that I am unconditionally loved by the Mother and Father of all things. No more a victim of my life and circumstances. I became a powerful ape without a monkey on my back. Ooh, ooh, ha, ha. Come join me in the trees. Next episode, we will take a look at the emotion of suffering. Until then, make a list of the worries you had today. Look over that list as you breathe deeply. What if you said no to the first item on your list? What's the worst that could happen? Is that really as bad as we make it sound? What about the next item on the list? Take some time to look at each of those items and see what you are really fearing. And remember that you never have to do anything you don't want to do.